about. I like the demeanor in him. The confidence is high, and I think he's ready to pounce.
Talk of the championship race, moving from Phoenix to Homestead, Miami, possibly going back there. So everybody want to comment on this. Would you like to see the championship rotate? Is there a spot you'd like to see it go?
Well, I've said this for years, but I think it needs to go to Phoenix, Homestead, Charlotte, Texas. Rotate that thing around.
Good.
I 100% agree with everything he's saying. I know that weather is a big factor in where we can have that championship race, but I don't think it's fair to have it at one track every single year because it could favor a driver.
Well, I think Roger Penske's probably the only one that wants it to stay right where it's at. Everybody else wants it moved around.
All right, let's check back in with our team of pit reporters, see what Regan Smith is up to. Regan?
Chris, we're down here at drivers' introductions. The driver's getting introduced, and one of the guys that's going to lead the field to green today, Zane Smith, first time in your career, you're on the pole position. What's it going to be like having wide open spaces in front of you?
Yeah, it's going to be a great view. I probably have the best view in Talladega today. So, yeah, just an incredibly fast Title Max Ford. Looking forward to today. A lot's going to happen throughout the day, but hopefully be rolling towards the end and in the first few rows, and that's all you could ask for.
All right, good luck today. Jamie.
Well, Kyle Larson, been talking about him. I know they're calling for you over here, Kyle. Walk with you. In the IndyCar last week, now it's back in your stock car here at Talladega. Any indication if maybe today could be the day you get one of these wins?
I don't know. I think we do a good job. Just got to kind of execute like always and be in position at the end, and hopefully it works out. But I feel like our HinderCars.com Chevy team has been good. Just got to put it all together, cross our fingers, and try to miss the wreck.
He's 0 for 49, trying to win at a super speedway, Josh.
Well, over here with Austin Dillon, the birthday boy, turning 35 today, so the vibe's got to be good heading into this, huh?
Heck yeah, try and go get myself a birthday present today.
Best way to do it, go out there and win, right?
Thank you. Yeah, thanks Bass Pro Shops, Winchester. Let's go have a day.
All right, Regan.
Well, Josh, William Byron standing here. William Byron won the Daytona 500 earlier this year already. You are good at these drafting racetracks. Is it going to be the same today?
I hope so. I mean, all the Fords are really strong. So just, trying to work with our Chevrolet camp to do a good job pushing and drafting and just constantly changing here. I feel like the big thing here is merging off pit road after a green flag pit stop and finding your way and finding your track position. So, just thankful to be back racing this weekend. Valvoline Chevy looks really good, and just I'm excited for it. I feel like I look forward to these races maybe a little bit more than others. I just feel like we do a good job with it. My spotter, Brandon, does an awesome job on the roof, and hopefully we can just have a good result today.
Just saw your spotter on the roof. It's a long ways away up there. Jamie?
Well, Christopher Bell got his first drafting track win a few weeks ago at Atlanta, and you said, I love super speedway racing. Really, do you?
No. Maybe a little bit more after Atlanta, but I don't know. Atlanta's it races different than Daytona, Talladega, and so yeah. Well, you know what you're going to get whenever you come to this place, and we're going to do our best as a Twitter camp to shake it up, see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. This is probably my least favorite out of the three, but still, this genre of racing is not my favorite.
Well, you have fun today. Good luck. Be safe. Let's go to Josh.
Well, Kyle Busch, a two-time winner here at Talladega. How do you feel about making it 3 out there today?
That would certainly be nice. We got a really good starting spot to go along with it for our NicoKick.com Chevrolet. So, track position's key. Saving fuel's key. How do you keep track position by saving fuel? That I don't know, but you have the strategy that you know that you've got to put out there. And if others want to go faster than you, then you got to let them go and fall in line and try to leapfrog them later. So, whole bunch of different stuff kind of going on with different people and what their strategies are, but we look to keep our Chevrolet up front all day.
Move.
Bill Elliott, greens now for the checkered flag.
So we're sitting in front of your dad's car from the 80s here.
Bill Elliott is going toward immortality.
When you look back kind of throughout your career, what's maybe the best piece of advice your dad gave you?
He always tried to make sure I understood that if we were going to go down the racing route, and that's what I wanted to do, just to make sure I didn't take it for granted and took it serious, because he's like, look, I can only help for so long. If you go somewhere from there, then great, and if you don't, then we tried. So at a young age, I had to, start to realize, hey, this is not a joke.
So I would say one thing that I and probably most of the other drivers really respect is you tend to critique yourself more than your team or your car.
Yeah, just got beat.
Pit road, like as a little kid. Always a camera in your face. But you're maybe one of the most private drivers. Why is that?
I never wanted to be a race car driver to
be famous.
To be famous or to have my picture taken. That was just never even a thought in my mind. Like, it was always about the craft. It was always about being one of the best. It was never about anything more than that.
Your dad has 44 wins, right? You have 19. But your win percentage is actually higher than his. Did you ever think that you'd make it as far as you have in racing?
There were definitely days where the answer was just a quick no. But there were definite, and you can get comfortable, but I don't know that I ever totally felt like I've ever
Still looking for that moment?
made it. Yeah, I'm still looking.
In 7 years of TV, it's by far my favorite interview because I learned a lot about Chase Elliott. And I would encourage you, if you're a parent at home and you have a kid, that whether they're wanting to be in racing or any sport, to have them watch.
You love, right? Like all the people, all the glory, all the media, all the attention. I mean, that's not why you got here. And hearing Chase say that, none of us wanted to be here because of the fame. It was because you loved driving the race car, you loved what you did, and it adds a whole element to the Cup Series and the professional side of it that you can never explain to people until you get to this level.
Well, kind of adding exactly where you're going with that. For me, none of us grew up in a famous family or a famous lifestyle, right? He was the Georgia shirt, and I'm like, whoa, hey, what are you doing, you know? But it's just him. He pulls up calm and had questions for him, was super cool to him, and they all left there, didn't care that he had a Georgia shirt on by the time it was done. It's Chase Elliott, baby.
Yeah, he's incredibly humble for having such a famous name, and he comes in on Tailgate King. Now we're going to talk with Joey Logano. He's led a lot of laps this year, but he's yet to get to victory lane. He's your defending champ, stopping to say hi to some of the fans before hopping in the car.
Blew off all my plans for the weekend, came straight
The
here.
smell of love and fury in the air.
Are you having any fun?
One hell of a party.
What you getting out of living? Who cares for what you've got if you're not having any fun? Are you having any laugh?
If you want to have fun at a racetrack, folks, look no further than Talladega.
Oh, I'll do this till I can't do it anymore.
You want to see freedom on display? Anything goes on the boulevard. Hey, look at this. This is a team colleague here, the pit crew. You know, you could fit, Talladega so big, over 3,000 acres, you could fit all of the SEC football stadiums inside of this track. There's Saints running back Alvin Kamara with a Roll Tide cap on. And nice to see the crews getting loose as well. And Clint Boyer, he went combing through the area to find the king of the tailgate at Talladega.
Everyone, this is my favorite week of the year. Nobody tailgates better than Talladega. Cletus McFarland, he just got done with a race. I see all the people. This must be his spot.
Hey, Boyer, come on in, brother.
That is him.
Welcome to the camp.
He's a lot taller than I thought he was.
Yeah, Mountain Dew Doritos, brother.
What in the hell is going
going on with these motorhomes.
This one's mine right here. This is the Talladega Winnebago, a.k.a. the Dega-Bega. You want to come inside?
Do I need a tetanus shot or anything?
No, you're good. Sorry, my buddy Squirrel's in here making a drink.
Of course Squirrel's in here. Hey, why is there a fan clutch on the ground, fellas?
Yeah, that's a backup. It's a spare. You want me to fire it up so you can hear it? It's got a 454 big block. That's an exhaust leak you're hearing.
Oh, okay.
We got Jim across the way making us dinner.
What you got cooking for them?
Well, we have brisket and burnt-ends and pork butts.
Can we try a sample? I mean, I knew it was the real deal, but brother, that is delicious.
Jim, I have found a tailgate king.
Dang, Jim! Let's go, Jim!
You're a tailgate king. Very good. That is cool.
You know, I've been watching Cletus on, as everybody, right, on YouTube and Instagram and everything in between, but I've never met him. And the difference that he's making, oh my gosh, there has never been everything that we wanted to do growing up, guys. He's just going ahead and doing it and putting it on television, on YouTube and everything in between. That thing was the biggest turd I've ever seen. They had a challenge. Him and Biffle and his other buddy, $5,000. We're going to buy motorhomes and we're going to get them to Dega somehow. They broke down, caught on fire, got thrown out of a campground somewhere.
Oh, and
about got arrested.
They also raced them 5 laps on a dirt track.
And one thing they didn't do, bring any food. So they made friends with the neighbor over there. He was cooking for them and everybody in between. Parked them things right on the boulevard. I asked, hey, Cletus, what are you going to do with these things? You got to drive them home now? They came up, and I think they auctioned them off last night, Chris. That happened right here.
Clint thought it looked like fun. Harvick and I thought it looked like hell.
I saw the bird nest up in there.
Well, did you see his other buddy had a pet pigeon on their shoulder? He called it a bald eagle, the Talladega bald eagle.
All right, let's bring in defending champ Joey Logano, 3-time Cup champ. He's also won at Talladega 3 times. And as we can see, this is one of the cool things, kind of the drive around for the fans, kind of a parade ride before he gets in the car. And Joey, I'm sure, I guess the question is, those people that are around you, those fellow drivers, who's going to be in your way when you try to win today, and where do you want to be? Where do you want to be for much of the race?
All of them will be at some point. A lot of different things that can happen throughout this race, and it is cool to ride around here. We get to see all of the Talladega infield in a very brief form, and we get to see every mix of it as we go around the racetrack, and we got to see a lot already.
Well, Joe,
it's really on the back straightaway.
You have teed up what I wanted to know is, as you've made that trip around the track, what's maybe the most unique thing that you have seen that you're willing to share on national television with us?
Some things were not for kid eyes. Let's just say that. I think you remember some of the Talladega ride-arounds over here. And, fans are willing to show a lot of things, and so we're doing okay out here. It's like a weather report. Everything's all right. Things are going to be okay.
All right, well,
get before the storm.
Joey, get me to today. Where do you want to be at the end of this thing to win this race?
I think you got to position yourself to the front. The whole race, really, you're thinking about how do you get stage points, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen at the end of the race. You know, most likely there's a wreck at some point. You want to be ahead of it, but it's about positioning yourself towards the front. Unfortunately, a lot of times the wreck happens from the lead. But I think if you ride around the back, the best you're going to do is finish in the top 10. Well, that's not our goal with the Show Penzo Mustang. We're here to win, so we're going to do everything we can to position ourselves in the best place at the end of the stages and the end of the races.
Well, all right, before the end of the race, you still have to get to the end, right? And working with your spotter and everything in between, no practice here, straight to one-lap qualifying, go, cat, go, figure it out in the race. How do you get to the end of this thing working with the spotter? And more importantly, who do you want behind you coming off of turn 4?
Yeah, I mean, Coleman Presley, my spotter, he's a fantastic spotter, probably the best one on the roof. So, and for us, we are as one when we're on the racetrack. He knows exactly where I'm going to want to go. We talk about all of it. We prep together, so we understand that. Who do you want behind you? And all of them, to answer the question, but directly behind it, yeah, you choose a teammate, right? That's going to be the safest route, the one that's got your back the most, right? Even though we all want to win, we want a Ford to win. We want a Team Penske car to win, and ultimately you hope that's you. But you know, that's the weird thing about Talladega and Daytona and just speedway racing in general. You can't do it on your own, so you got to rely on some help, and you got to be selfless at times. At other times, you hope it's in your favor, and those favors you do get a reward at some point. So it's an odd relationship with your competitors out there, but because you got to work together, but you're also against each other. It's weird.
All right, impatient for a win this year. Thanks, Joey. Good luck today.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Joey Logano with us. He's one of the favorites. In fact, the latest odds posted for the race today, and we'll get our guys to predict. But Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano at the top of the list. Kyle Busch looking for that first win of the year. A couple other names on there. Interesting to see Brad Keselowski, whom we spoke with earlier, and Bubba Wallace. Long shots, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., whose first career win came here. He does have 2 Daytona 500 wins, and you see a few other names. Ty Gibbs hoping for his first career win as
McDowell.
well. And our DraftKings Sportsbook selections, and Clint Boyer got it right going with Kyle Larson before
Starting
we had
up
the break.
front, he's due.
Bristol. So how about you get to go first now? You were correct last week.
Kyle Busch. I'm calling it again. I'm going for 2 in a row.
Kyle.
He's going to start up front. He's hungry, and he's due.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go William Byron. He has not been able to win at Talladega before, but he's won at Atlanta twice and obviously the Daytona 500 twice. I think Byron gets it done today.
I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney. I think that they've had the fastest car all year, and I think that he's really good at these super speedways.
All right.
Brad said they got 50% chance.
So we'll go, Brad Keselowski. Logano would be a good pick. DraftKings Sportsbook is an authorized gaming operator of NASCAR. And this week, new customers can bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the app and use promo code SPEED when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Kevin and Clint having to head up to the booth to call the race. We look forward to that. Jamie and I will be here with more opening ceremonies. The grid walk is coming up straight ahead. You guys have a good call. That was fun. Take care. Thanks for hanging with us. NASCAR and Fox continues closer to the start at Talladega Superspeedway. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Since 1925, the Goodyear blimp has been inspiring fans to keep looking up and keep driving forward.
There are places in this country where time slows down, where a lazy Sunday kisses the warm afternoon air, and your heart is at peace. And this is not that place. Located off the 20 and tucked right between the pines, you'll find this historic speedway.
The world's fastest track.
It forces you to remember your manners, honoring drivers with the privilege to push their machines into the red. But with great speed comes great danger. Danger so threatening it can only be talked about as the big one.
And it's the big one in turn 2.
For 500 miles, these drivers will ride the banks and flirt with disaster, reminding all of us the South is everything but slow. This is where risk meets reward. This is where skill has to overcome fear. This is Talladega.
All right, time for the grid walk. Michael Waltrip, the last win of his career came here at Talladega. So, Michael, we know it's NASCAR country, but it's also Alabama football. This is SEC, this football country as well.
We've talked so much about this vibe, Chris. It's been a great day. Heck, look here. Even an AI-generated picture of yourself when you're older. Hey, John Hunter, happy birthday, Tay. I hope you had a good one. Let's talk with Carson Hocevar. Hi, buddy. Hey. When I think of Talladega, we've talked about drama, excitement, saving fuel, so many different things. But you know what I think of? Spicy. That's what Talladega is.
Yeah, that works out for the Ride the Dente 77. This thing's a hot rod. We were pretty fast last week, so I'm excited. I'm excited to be on the race car rather than call. I had fun calling it with you, but driving a race car is a little bit more fun.
Standing side by side with you made me have fun too. Where's Jack Harvey? Hey, you go from Carson Hocevar in that great outfit, this tall. Jack Harvey, you're going to run the Indy 500. You work Fox NASCAR on the IndyCar Series. Welcome to Talladega. Tell me what you think about this vibe.
I went to the Boulevard on Friday night, and I saw things that I've never seen before at a racetrack. I loved it. I'm a race fan, so being able to come and get my first Talladega experience before we get ready to dial into the 500 is just awesome. So thanks to Fox for inviting me to be here today.
I cannot wait to watch the Indy 500 on Fox. It's going to be an awesome show. I'm glad you're going to be in it. How about coming along with me to the grid walk? Who do we got here? Who's this cat? You take over.
This is the guy who I'm most excited about today. Noah.
Hey, where
you
from?
have made me laugh all weekend.
Where are you from?
UK.
UK, these boys, I met them down in Nashville this week. They're from the UK too.
Let's go.
These are the top shags right here. So we're having a good time down in Talladega. You ready, Michael? You ready?
America's Farm and Home Store.
That's right, Rule King, baby. And we got the beads. Shout out Boulevard.
The Boulevard, a result of why you don't have a voice?
No, I've been kind of sick all week.
Well, that's a bummer. I was hoping you'd go in a new direction for me. Jack, come on along. Let's see who else we can find. There's the Alabama football players, basketball. How y'all doing? I'm Michael Waltrip with the Fox NASCAR Grid Walk. Is there any Roll Tide? How about it? One time, all together.
Roll Tide!
Who's this feller back here? How you doing? War Eagle. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a little carried away. I was having such a good grid walk. That's my fault. How you feeling, buddy? You're surrounded with quite the athletes here.
I know. Yeah. I dare you to say that again. I don't know if they like it too much. Yeah, it's
the guy in the red shirt. Yeah, he's not looking at me very kindly.
Yeah, it's great to have them here. Hope they enjoy the race. But yeah, looking forward to a good race today.
What's the plan? Charge? Nobody will tell me.
Yeah, probably gonna be the same here. We'll see.
That's really kind of you. Hey, how about over here? There's Jeff Gordon and Kyle Larson. Hi, Jeff. I always said I wanted to talk to you on the grid walk and you run. So thank you.
You got me. Good to see you, buddy. Everything good?
Everything's great. Who you beside you? See Jack Harvey's here. We're having a good grid walk.
Jack being here. I spent some time with him yesterday. Cool guy.
All right. Well, Chris Myers, take it away. There's a star-studded grid walk today featuring Jeff Gordon.
Thought you were going to be like that guy in the commercial. High tide, whatever. Looked out, you could see the commissioner. We saw the football players, the commissioner of NASCAR, Steve Phelps, the first official commissioner, although he's had titles within the company. And John Dahl, too, NASCAR content. Saw him roaming around as well with Jamie Little up top here above pit road. Couple of race teams that we didn't get into a lot. We talked about the dominance so far this season of Hendrick and also the Joe Gibbs Toyotas. Who comes to mind first? I'm thinking Trackhouse 2311.
Yeah, I mean, we just heard from Reddick right there. I mean, his teammate Bubba Wallace has been able to win here before. Reddick's won here before. Trackhouse, obviously, Chastain has won here before. Suarez could be a contender today. So, yeah, I mean, opportunity, Chris. That's the kind of the name of today's race.
Yeah, in fact, back in the 80s, somebody, can you believe this, back here, anything can happen here. Somebody stole the pace car, rode a lap around.
That was a good time.
Police arrested them. We'll see if a driver can steal a win today. Right now, we're glad you're with us live on Fox.
Please rise as you are able. Remove your hats, and veterans render a hand salute as the Rehoboth High School Junior ROTC Color Guard from Dothan, Alabama, presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome from Baptist Health Citizens Hospital, Miss Barbara Embry.
Talladega, let's pray together.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for all of your bountiful blessings toward us. And yes, for this wonderful day that you've given us to experience NASCAR here at Talladega Super Speedway. We thank you for the organizers, every excited fan, to Heavenly Father, the drivers, their teams, and their families. Now we ask you to be our God and bless us forth in this day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome from Fort Knox, Kentucky, the 100th United States Army Band.
Party Central USA. That is Talladega, Alabama, within the confines of this 2.66-mile super speedway. You're apt to see just about anything, either from the stage, out, oh, that's Boyer, in the infield. It's a 24-hour party, and it culminates with a 500-mile race today. Look how packed this infield is with campers and people. It's the Jack Links 500 at Talladega on Fox. Packed house, infield and outfield camping, just all over the place. There are race fans and the NASCAR faithful ready to see a very unpredictable 500-mile race. That is Bobby Allison's grandson driving that Ford Torino. How about that? Yeah, the Alabama gang, they loom large here. Well, this is anybody's race. In each of the last 3 Talladega races, 66 or more official lead changes. 7 different organizations have won the last 7 drafting races. 9 different winners in the last 9 races here. Well, that's a record since this track started back in 1969. What's going to happen next? That's what we're here to find out. I'm Mike Joy. Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer. They swept the Talladega races in 2010. 2 wins, 1 win. But between them, a total of 10 crash DNFs, because you never know. Sorry, guys, take you down just a peg. You just never know what's going to happen here. So how do you plan for it?
Well, I want my driver to be aggressive. I want him to push aggressively. I want the strategy to be aggressive. Everything that you do needs to be and lean that side of the fence, because if you're not, you're going to be the one in trouble.
Well, I've watched previous races. Maybe it was one that I won. Maybe it was one that I wrecked. The one thing that you're going to come here with was a lot of meetings, a lot of planning of what's going to happen on paper. Let me tell you something. You can throw that out the window when that big one happens. And when that happens, you throw it all out the window. You change your mindset. You plant somebody behind you, and you put them in a situation where they don't have a choice but to better themselves by pushing you to that win.
Yeah, sometimes here it's adapt or fly. Well, let's hope not. Let's keep these cars on the ground, and let's get a winner to victory lane without a big incident today. But first, let's go trackside.
Talladega, by day, he's the chief financial officer of Jack Links, but today he's here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Let's give a big NASCAR welcome to Adam Smith, joined by his friends Sasquatch and Yeti.
Drivers, start your engines!
39 NASCAR Cup Stalkers roar to life. You're going to ride on board with 11 of them today on Fox.
The NASCAR Cup Series is headed to the beloved Talladega Superspeedway. This fast, long, and unpredictable track opened its doors back in 1969 and has become a fan favorite ever since. The Superspeedway spans 2.66 miles, making it the largest track in the circuit. You can expect to see drivers racing at extremely high speeds, often just inches apart from each other. Keep an eye out for 4, even 5 wide racing, as drivers battle for positions while going nearly 200 miles per hour. This track also has the steepest banking of any NASCAR track, sitting at 33 degrees. Talladega is known as a drafting track, meaning drivers will closely follow the cars in front of them, using the air around those cars to help maintain high speeds. This style of racing also helps with fuel efficiency. You can expect to see quite a few cautions at this track due to the close packed style of racing. One small mistake can trigger a chain reaction, often collecting several cars. This track has even been nicknamed the Big One, since cautions typically involve lots of cars and cleanup. Drivers will have to choose their passes wisely as they navigate through a crowded field of cars if they want to come out on top today. We caught up with the driver of the number 34 car, Todd Gilliland, who shared just how difficult it is to race at Talladega.
Yeah, I think speedway racing has really, changed a lot over the years, and especially with the next-gen car. there's so much strategy going on at all times, whether it's engineers, crew chiefs running, kind of fuel mileage. Sometimes it seems like you can make your way to the front fairly easy, and other times it seems like it's impossible. So it's very much a chess game, and I would say it's as mentally taxing as any racetrack we go to.
11 drivers have won their first NASCAR Cup Series race at Talladega Superspeedway, the most recent driver being Bubba Wallace in 2021. Will we see a first-time winner today, or will three-time Talladega winner Ryan Blaney find his way back to victory lane? Let's find out.
The fastest, most unpredictable speedway.
But chaos reigns supreme.
John Meyer, just stop and get out.
Where legends are born.
Going for the lead.
And heroes are made.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. owns this place.
Making the impossible suddenly become possible.
Ryan Blaney by 1/100th of a second.
Today, at this iconic track, the only certainty is uncertainty. This is Talladega.
Welcome back to...
Hello, everybody. Okay, now let's, hello, everybody. I am Luke up in the booth, and welcome to the NASCAR Cup Series from Talladega. Rightful owners of this footage goes to NASCAR, and of course, NASCAR on Fox. This is going to be one of the biggest tracks that you're ever going to get to battle with, and you're going to have to mainly avoid the big one. That's the big thing Kevin, Clint, Jamie, Chris were all talking about in the pre-race. Avoiding the big one is going to be a huge task if you want to get through and live here at Talladega, because it's going to be one of the hardest things to avoid. But if you avoided it, and as Clint and Kevin were mentioning, that you can fight and get through. But now let's go ahead and look at your Jack Link's 500 starting grid. In row 1, we have Zane Smith alongside Kyle Busch. I did not see row 2. Row 3 is Austin Dillon and Chris Busser. Row 4 is holding Austin Cindric and flipping Josh Berry. In row 5, we have Ryan Blaney and Ty Gibbs. In row 6, we have Christopher Bell and Cole Custer. In row 7, Denny Hamlin and Michael McDowell. In row 8, Todd Gilliland and Daytona 500 winner William Byron. In row 9, we have Chase Briscoe and Alex Bowman. And in row 10, we have AJ Allmendinger, and I did not see. In row 11, we have Ty Dillon and Brad Keselowski. Row 12 is Riley Herbst, rookie, and Daniel Suarez. In row 13, we have Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick. In row 14, we have Noah Gragson and Carson Hocevar. In row 15, we have John Hunter Nemechek and Chase Elliott. In row 16, we have Anthony Alfredo and Ross Chastain. In row 17, we have Cody Ware and Eric Jones. In row 18, we have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Shane Van Gisbergen. In row 19, we have Justin Haley and BJ McLeod. And in row 20, to the rear, we have Justin Haley. Why did I say Justin Haley again? JJ Haley. Sorry about that. Drivers are doubling up, getting ready to go green here in Talladega as we get a good view of the cars. One of the big things that I was just now mentioning is avoiding the big one and getting to the front. That's going to be one of the biggest tasks you got to go to if you want to win here at Talladega. And that's probably going to be one of the things drivers are going to be struggling with, knowing when is this big one going to happen and when are they going to be able to avoid it or not, is kind of going to be the debate today here in Talladega. Zane Smith, I believe, first career pole, starting pretty good up in front. I saw a picture somebody posted like 2015, 2014, maybe 2013. There was a picture of very young Zane Smith, who was on a pit road at Texas during the Xfinity race, taking a picture with Kyle Busch. And this was before Zane Smith was even in the Truck Series. He wasn't even in ARCA. He looked probably around 14 or 15 when the picture was taken, and I saw it. I thought that was pretty iconic. And here they are, side by side, leading the field to green at Talladega. Race analysis is going to be 188 laps. Stage 1 is going to be 60 laps. Stage 2, 60 laps. And the final stage, 68 laps. It's going to bring a banger today in Talladega. And that's going to be... We can see this big one on lap 5. That's the thing these drivers have got to worry about. This will be commercial free here because I am not trying to get copyrighted. Of course, on Fox, it doesn't really do it. Here's 6-time Talladega winner Brad Keselowski in the 6th, starting in near mid-pack. Of course, we all know Keselowski is pretty, you can say, good when it comes to Talladega. Of course, on Fox, they're doing their stuff, but I'm, of course, commentating how I want to be commentating. I've learned that we have 40 people watching the race. And of course, the big one, Corey LaJoie flipped over on the last lap of last year's Talladega Spring Race. Tyler Reddick won that race. McDowell wrecked himself, and then everything was just calamity behind him. But now the question is, who can come out on top, execute right, get the right person behind them to push them to the point that they can come out in the lead and win? We don't know that yet, but we're going to be finding out pretty shortly as we go green in Talladega. Looking up at the track. Don't know what Fox is doing, so I guess just watch along. Oh, they're talking about the draft, the banking, and the turn. I don't know. I'm not listening to the Fox broadcast. I'm listening to me. 33 degrees of banking. Daytona turn 1 and Talladega turn 1. Look at the difference. More banking at Dega, and Dega is longer. And the turn radius is bigger for Talladega. So that's going to be playing a pretty huge factor. 26 feet tall is Daytona is at 20 feet. I love how they're using cars. That graphic creeped me out. We're watching up over the field, getting ready to go green. Looking at the banking still. Winning is we're getting late into the season. I learned that Talladega and 3 more races afterwards are the last races Fox will be broadcasting this year. That's how much time is flying by here in the NASCAR season. We're already, race 10, 11 into the season? Pretty sure this is race 10 for the Cup Series, 11 for the Xfinity Series. And I don't know for the Truck Series. Alex Bowman. Kyle Larson has, you can say, pretty much a curse of not being able to come out on top. The most he has won on the super speedway is a stage. Kyle Larson, from what my knowledge, has never won a super speedway race in the Cup Series. But as the cars circle out of turn 4, from the looks of it, I think we are going green this time. The fans are up on their feet. They are waving their hats. Yep, lights are off on the pace car. Let's watch how this is going to go. The pace car onto pit road. As the drivers come through the infield. Remember, the surface line is not in the tri-oval. It's right past it. Through the United Rentals restart zone. Zay Smith and Kyle Busch lead us to the green flag. We are racing at Talladega. Zay Smith holds the lead. Logano giving him a big push out early. Zane Smith pulls off. That top lane already fading. But Zane Smith is going to go to the top and block Logano from getting that big run. Now, can we see people on the bottom lane get under Zane Smith? Austin Dillon leading that bottom lane. The top lane already performing good as Zane Smith leads us into turn 3. And now we know they're already 3 wide in the back, and lap 1 isn't even over. That's how risky. That's how much you're putting on the line when it comes to racing at Talladega. Zane Smith leads lap 1. Logano goes up. 3 wide for the lead. Here comes Austin Dillon. Excuse me. 3 by 3 wide all throughout the pack. The front of the field is getting cramped up a lot. Down the back straightaway. I don't know whose camera this is. Okay, that was Logano's camera. Josh Berry pushing Logano. Logano holding off the lead from Zane Smith. Here comes Austin Dillon for Richard Childress. Can he take the lead? Yes, Austin Dillon to the lead in Talladega. It's very close to tell. But Austin Dillon in the lead. 3 wide all throughout the pack. Things are getting crazy here in Talladega. Already, we're only lap 3. The whole entire field 3 by 3 wide. Keselowski makes it 4 wide. We saw a lot of that 4 wide racing in the fall race. Now Bowman making it 4 wide. Last year in the fall race, we saw a lot of this 3 wide, 4 wide action all throughout the pack. Oh, Briscoe very up far by the wall, almost into the wall. But Austin Dillon just executing perfectly and pulling away. 4 wide in the back. We are definitely going to see some carnage the way they are racing already. It's only lap 4, y'all. But Logano, where did he come from? Running like 3rd or 4th as they cross the line, already battling for the lead with Austin Dillon. 4 wide for the lead. Where did McDowell come from? He just appears all of a sudden and starts running 2nd. He just teleported there. Now McDowell is in the lead. Just barely. The big one is definitely going to be coming very soon. Logano peeking under. Here we go. That camera, I'm not really sure who that is. McDowell onboard camera. Or, excuse me, rear bumper camera. Down this back straightaway. I would not be surprised if Fox was already on a commercial break. We are not going anywhere. We are not going to commercial break. The ticker, leaderboard, whatever you want to call it, might disappear when Fox goes to commercial. But for now, it's just going to stay for me, at least. Here's Carson Hocevar on board camera getting to the back of Keselowski here. Flag stand view. That's how fast they're going. It took like 2 seconds just for the whole field to get past the flag stand. Logano holding off, and we're gonna continue to see these 4 wide racing. There's gonna be a wreck at one point. Trust me, I'm gonna call it. The way we're racing right now, there's probably gonna be a wreck coming soon, and maybe even a flip. Joey Logano flipped here in 2021. But of course, that's when they were into Gen 6. That's not really going to be, by the way, high Cinder and high TD designs. Love this pit road kit. Here comes Zane Smith. Bold move. Wow. Zane Smith just comes out of nowhere, but Vic Dowell pulling off in the lead. Riley Herbst in-car camera. Getting crazy. 4 wide already, not even done with stage 1. Now, we need to stop talking about the big one. We need to focus on when pit stops are going to happen. I don't even know the fuel window because I was not listening because I was broadcasting. I have no clue. I'm assuming it's going to be around lap 20 through 40 because usually Daytona's pit cycle starts around lap 30. So I'm assuming it's going to be near lap 20, lap 30, 40. In that area is when everybody's going to have to start coming down and pitting. This is going to be one heck of a race that I can guarantee. The way these drivers, they are pushing hard. Okay, there's no way I have 40 viewers right now. I'm reloading the stream. Okay, now it's at 54. Yeah, I'm reloading this stream. There's already gained 3 subscribers. This has 208 views. Come on, load. Home, good home. Wow, 54 viewers. Thank y'all for tuning in. I feel like it's definitely going to help me reach 500 subscribers. I'm going to try to do this more as long as I just don't get copyrighted. As long as I'm covering up the logos and stuff that can get me copyrighted. And I'm not using Fox's broadcast. I'm using UK broadcast, whatever you want to call it. Barry, he's in dead last. Whatever. Oh, I thought you said SPG is fast. Like, no, he's dead last. No, see, I thought you said fast, but you're saying last. McDowell tries to get that lead back. It's gonna be a tough task to get back in that lead, for sure. For Zane Smith, Kyle Busch has done fell back a good way. Kyle Larson started 25th, not going the direction he wants to. Fox going under commercial break. Here in Talladega, well, we aren't. This has been one interesting race for sure. Of course, fans are going crazy. I saw water spill everywhere. Oh. McDowell pulling off. Here comes Zane Smith with a good run. Zane Smith pushing the pedal, trying to take the lead back. I was just now pointing out how this is going to be kind of hard for them to get up. Mm. 4 wide. The only person not 4 wide is McDowell, your leader. McDowell is just pulling away. But knowing how the drafting tracks work, they're definitely going to recast McDowell. McDowell's holding the second middle lane. Oh, Barry! With help from Custer, and here comes Zane Smith with help from Ryan Preece. Both taking it. They're going to have to fight, try to get this lead. Out of turn number 4. Looks like Ryan Preece has maybe gotten into position to take the lead. Rear camera of William Byron. Onboard camera with, I have no clue who that is. I believe that's Nemechek. Onboard camera with Ryan Blaney. Racing is getting interesting. Onboard camera with my favorite driver, Keselowski. Smith in the lead. Nate Smith in the lead here. AJ Allmendinger's in dead last. Yeah, it is, Aiden. I don't know how. It just is. Back at McDowell's car said we like it dirty. Christopher Bell, one of Hamlin's sponsors. But we see with Joe Gibbs Racing sometimes they like to switch around sponsors. Like at Phoenix, they used to switch it around where like Bush would run Sport Clips, and then like Jones would run Interstate Batteries. They kind of did that cycle. They used to. But now you just see one driver running another car sponsor. Oh, okay. The stream was unavailable and it came back available. Okay, that's weird, but okay. I'm definitely going to be watching now. I might have to restart the stream a few times if we don't want to get the stream unavailable. Dowell up here. And you can see they're throttling their brake. They're just full throttle through these turns. Oh my lordy. It's mainly how it's going to be the majority of this race. He's trying to take the lead. He's done gone in front of Zane Smith. Oh, this four wide action has kind of cooled down. Not really four wide anymore. Saw Kozlowski getting loose, Hamlin getting loose. Brees, I'm pretty sure you were supposed to go down and block that, but okay. Brees could have easily went down and blocked that run McDowell was getting, but he didn't. Carson Hesselbar in car camera. Okay, right there it is. Alright, we're gonna have to okay, nope, now it's okay, it's booting back up and then not booting back up. I'm going to restart the stream.